Hello there everybody, and welcome to this primer for Buildcraft, a mod that's part of the Technic Pack for Minecraft. I'm Dratnos, and today I'll be explaining what all of this is and how it works. So, everything that you see before you here is added by the mod Buildcraft and only by the mod Buildcraft, and basically what I'm going to do is explain this mod in its entirety, and then move on to the next mod and do a whole series for every mod in the Technic Pack. Some of the mods are going to have multiple episodes, like Industrial Craft, it's going to have to. But for this one, I think I can do everything in one episode, which I'm going to do now. So Buildcraft is all about engines, pipes, building things, and pulling things out of the ground. So there are a bunch of different types of pipes. The first type of pipe is just this item-based pipe here. You can see it's pretty simple. This is the default texture pack. So the way that each pipe works is that each pipe sort of serves a different purpose. The obsidian pipe lets you chuck something into it, and it'll be taken into the pipe system. You can't do that with any other pipe. See, they just don't go in. The iron pipe lets you select one direction and force all input to go in that direction. So in this pipe, regardless of which direction the input's coming from, it's going to go out in this way, because you see that the clear spot is there. Now if I want to change that, I'm going to need a wrench. So I just take the wrench and right-click here, and you'll notice that the clear surface changes. That means that items going through here are going to go this way. Now they're going to go that way. Now they're going to go this way, and now they're going to go that way again. So that's one type of pipe. Another type of pipe, wooden pipe. It allows you to extract things from inventories, like chests. So here I've got this chest with a bunch of wooden planks, and if I go ahead and power up this guy here by placing a redstone torch on the red wool here, this redstone engine, which is the weakest type of engine, is going to start going, and is going to start pulling out one wooden plank every stroke. The stronger the engine, the more that are pulled out each stroke. So for example, a combustion engine will take out a full stack per stroke, which is, of course, optimal, depending on what you're using it for. Sometimes you might prefer the redstone engine. So, you'll notice that the items are now coming into this. This is an automatic crafting table. It's also added by Buildcraft. And what it does is it lets you store a recipe, and then if we power it up and try to pull items out of it like it's an inventory, it'll actually pull out the completed version. So you'll notice there out comes a crafting table. So the recipe I've got in here is a crafting table. But if the pulse goes when there's not enough to make one and keep the recipe here, so at least 2 of each spot, then it won't do anything. So these are some simple creations. I'm not going to show you the recipes, because with Technic you can just use not enough items, search the item name, find it, mouse over it, and hit R to get the recipe. And then if there's any part of that you don't understand, like wooden gears, you can press R to get that recipe. So I'm not going to explain that, but I am going to explain everything else about how they operate. So redstone engines obviously require just a redstone engine to start working. They will only... their heat, basically, is indicated by this color here. You'll notice it's blue now. If we check back in about 5 minutes, it'll get green, and it'll start pumping faster. And then it'll get orange and start flashing red. And that's the maximum speed it'll go without risking an overheat. And we could overheat it intentionally by stacking multiple ones on top of each other and have one redstone engine powering the other. But that would eventually cause an explosion. However, redstone engines will never explode as long as they have something to power and are only themselves operating, and you're not stacking them up. So you never have to worry about exploding your redstone as long as you're using them properly. So that's that. What other types of pipes do we have? Well, this is a golden pipe. Golden pipes, when powered, you'll notice that the texture changed there. And if we go ahead and stick a torch in here, boom, gets shot through there at a much faster velocity through this golden pipe. So golden pipes are used to speed up your system. So we can do the same over here. And now you'll notice that these two are different types of... And this has gone and slowed down now. This is lighter pipe than this one. This is smooth stone pipe, and this is cobblestone pipe. And the way that works is that items carrying a speed... smooth stone and cobblestone pipes are basically your primary transporters of goods. They don't link with each other, so if I go ahead and stick... if I go ahead and steal this for now, just very briefly, and try to place it next to a smooth stone pipe, it won't connect. So it's great for running wires right next to each other. You basically have 2 different frequencies that won't link with each other. That's very nice. But there is, in fact, a small difference. The small difference is that items will keep their speed from a gold pipe longer in a smooth stone pipe than in a cobblestone pipe. So keep that in mind. It's usually not a huge issue, but if we do a test here, this going through the smooth stone pipe here, very fast, still going very fast, and we get another charge here, and that's gonna go ahead and it's slowed down by this point much more. So what's this here? Well, this is another iron pipe, and this is just another one of the features of iron. Every time you change its redstone output, it'll change which output it goes to. So right now, this is a 3-sided iron pipe, and every time I flick this switch, it'll change to a different one of the 3. So it's not like on-off, it's not like you store an output for on and you store an output for off. No, every time you switch redstone input, it'll switch its output, which can be a bit tricky, because you'll almost never want things to bounce back the way they came, which means that you'll need to hit it like once, then twice, then once, then twice. Kind of hard to set up an automated system for that, but there are ways around that, and I don't personally use these for that function, but they are, it can be done. You can design some sort of system that uses this aspect of iron pipes. So, this iron pipe here, this again showcases that cobblestone and stone won't link, so you can have very nice and close things, because if we put a stone pipe here, they'd link up here and we'd have all sorts of problems. Now this is a diamond pipe. The way a diamond pipe works is, you open up this interface, and basically, things coming in here will, if they match anything in one of the filters, will go to that color. So sand will go the red way, and then anything that isn't given a color will go it will choose between the available routes that don't have anything in them. It's like yellow. So if we put bricks in yellow, only bricks would go yellow. But if there's nothing in yellow, then everything except sand will go yellow. And if we put bricks in yellow, then things would be forced to go back green, which is their input direction. But they won't go back their input direction unless they have no other choices. So that's a pretty cool functionality. It's very useful. So right now we've got it set up so that so that sand will go the red way and anything else will go the yellow way, which is where everything's ended up at this point. Go ahead and take all this back. So over here, we have one of the earliest kind of aspects of the Buildcraft automated mining industry thing. This is one that I personally don't like and don't use very much because it's a pain, but it's a mining well. And a mining well is sort of a weaker cousin of the quarry. I'm sure you've all seen quarries. If you haven't, you'll see one later this episode. Just had a nice little burp there. So this is powered by a steam engine. Steam engines are basically one step up from redstone. They require coal and redstone power, and then they start going. You'll notice the coal is burning. And the mining well just starts going downwards. With its every stroke, it'll go down by 1, and it'll just start mining through blocks. Bloop. Bloop. Like so. And if we want, we can now go ahead and check out. It's automatically ejected through the pipe here. We don't need a wooden pipe because it's not being pulled out of an inventory. It's being ejected from an item. So that's an important distinction to make. You only need the wooden pipes, for example, here, if you want to pull things out of an inventory, which we do. So let's do that. So if we now pull things out of this chest inventory here, they'll go this way. And they'll go along our system here, and all the sand is going to get sorted into this chest, and all the not sand is going to get sorted into this chest. So I'm sure you can see that there's a bunch of useful pipe setups you can design to design rooms that send things automatically the way you want them to. And here we can see now that these are going faster, and they're green. You can use automatic crafting tables to set up something like if we wanted, we could just mine out a desert and automatically craft the sand into sandstone by using an automatic crafting table with the sandstone recipe. So that's pretty cool. This is all the kind of, well, not all the kind of, let me show you the last base tier of Buildcraft. This is a template, or an architect table. And these are landmarks. So landmarks are basically redstone torches with a little bit of extra stuff on them. So if I go ahead and delete this, if I right-click on a landmark, it'll form a link with any other landmarks within 64 blocks. And I can also do like that. Now I've formed a link between these and made an area. And if I link now this one, made a volume. I could have done all that just by clicking on this one because it would have connected to all 3 of those. So if I show you that, yeah, like that. Then if I put the architect table down right here, it's now basically inputted that area. I'm going to go ahead and just use not enough items to quickly set it to day. Nice. So the architect table has now recognized this area as its input. And if we take a template and stick it in here, it'll go ahead and, without any input, start drawing this into this area, into our template. So our template's going to learn this. There we go, template number 5, it's going to go ahead and call it, because there are some base templates that come with this that are pretty cool, that I don't think are added by Buildcraft, but are added by some other Technic mods. And this is a Steam engine here, and this is a builder. And the way a builder works is you stick a template in it, give it some filling resources. We'll go ahead and fill this with some glass. Let's give it... that should be enough. That should be sufficient. And it's now going to create something of this exact same dimension as the template it's taken. And once we power this up, it'll go ahead and start filling this up according to this. So what's first going to happen is it's going to build us a... this robot probe basically is going to fill up the area, like so, according to this very same template that we've drawn here. So you can see that that would be very useful if, for example, you have one type of house. You can just store it in your template, and like store the walls in your template, and then just do a builder with wooden planks and make yourself the walls very easily. So there you go. That's your builder and architect table and templates right there. Very cool. Very cool. So now this is the kind of higher level Buildcraft stuff. These are pumps. The way that pumps work is that when powered, they will pump resources in form of liquid up into waterproof pipes. So these are waterproof pipes. They're basically made by taking regular pipes and adding a waterproofing agent. You have your cobblestone waterproof pipes, your regular stone waterproof pipes. You also have wooden waterproof pipes, as you can see here, and golden waterproof pipes, which are not the same function. They don't serve the same function. Pretty much every other type of waterproof pipe does, as does iron waterproof pipes, but golden ones just hold more. They don't make things go faster, they just are able to hold more liquid in a single pipe section. So if I wanted to show you how this works, this is just going to pump water out of this pool here, and it's just going to pump it up into our system there, which is already filled up with water because I'd run this before. Now this is oil. This is going to pump up oil. We stick this here. These are combustion engines, and okay, looks like it's bugged out a little bit. This does that from time to time. We just stick this down here again, and if I just spawn in a bit of fuel, which I won't normally do, but desperate times, if I just spawn in a bit of fuel, shloop, this should begin. Oh, I used a regular torch, not a redstone torch. Derp. Yeah, there it goes. This should now begin pumping oil. Let me go ahead and get myself a little stairway out of here. Cool. So now the oil, as you can see, is coming through these pipes, and it's going into these tanks. Tanks basically store any liquid. You can see I've got it set to go back up around here, so that it can fill up both of these tanks. You can stack tanks on top of each other, and it'll fill them regardless of where the input's coming from. So that's very good. And these combustion engines will basically take fuel and water to run. Water stops them from overheating and exploding. So that's why it's important that we're pumping water into the system, and we've got water going to each combustion engine. Then the fuel we'll also need to make. And how we make fuel is with a refinery. A refinery takes in oil and gives us fuel. So we'll go ahead and use this and this. And so that's going to start pumping oil into our refinery. That's going to start pulling out fuel once it's done. And down here, I've set up an array of engines that all pump into conductive pipes, which power up our thing here. So you can do this. This is a conductive pipe. It basically conducts Buildcraft power. You'll see all of these engines are pumping into it, and it's making this work at a reasonable speed because these require quite a lot of energy to work. And now you see this delightful fuel going ahead and filling up everything, all of our engines everywhere. Everything's working very, very well. So that's that. That's how everything is working. Obviously, the refinery is still working a bit slower than would be optimal. We could probably fill another one of these flowers here. Now, conductive pipes are a bit different than regular pipes. With conductive pipes, you've only got 3 types. You've got wooden conductive pipes, which are the only conductive pipes that can receive power, stone conductive pipes, which transport them, and gold conductive pipes, which transport the power but lose less power per block. So stone transport pipes will lose 1% of the power per block, but gold transport pipes will only lose 0.01% of the power per block, which makes them better, especially if you're going over long distances. Here I didn't feel the need to do that, but it's important to note, if I go ahead and spawn in a gold conductive pipe, golden conductive? Yeah, there it is. If I go ahead and spawn in some of these, it's important to note that they will link up fine with this. And, yeah, that's that. There aren't other conductive pipes. There's not iron or others added by Buildcraft. There are a few others added by other mods, but this is just Buildcraft stuff here. So all of our engines are being powered with fuel, and are being supplied with water, which means none of them should be overheating. However, if you hear an explosion, I was very wrong, and obviously some of them did get overheated. So this is just a quick demonstration over here of how iron waterproof pipes work. Basically, if we go ahead and use our wrench to toggle this here, it'll allow the liquid to go in that direction. If we toggle it this way, it'll allow the liquid to go in that direction. Pretty simple, just wanted to prove to you that that worked. And so now this is supplied with both fuel and water, and if we redstone engine it, this is a quarry. And a quarry is really cool. It's kind of the most iconic Buildcraft item. What it does is it defines an area. You can define your own area with landmarks, or it'll do one automatically, a 9x9 square, 9x9x3 rectangular prism, to be specific. And it'll start filling it up with this frame, and as soon as that frame is done, it's gonna start automatically mining everything here. So it's like this this mining well here, except instead of just going down one down, or 64 down, but only none across or front and back, this will take this whole area down to bedrock or lava, whichever it reaches first. Here's a handy tip. Let me go ahead and spawn myself in some water. If you have a water bucket, and you place it in the middle of the quarry, a 9x9 quarry, when it gets started. Oops, this is obviously not optimal because there's a downward slope there, but that's okay. This should still work. What it'll do is, as this mines down, this source block will mean that all of the quarry has water around it, and that will stop this quarry from being interrupted by lava, because the lava will automatically be turned into obsidian, which this can mine. Now, quarries are quite expensive. They cost quite a few diamonds. So obviously, by the time you've gotten to this point, you don't really need the diamonds all that much, unless you're using other mods like Equivalent Exchange. But yeah, that's how this works. It's pretty cool. And it'll, much in the same way as the mining well, start ejecting the stuff along this pipe. To here, this is the last Buildcraft item I'm going to show you. This is a filler. It's sort of like a builder, except instead of coming with a template you design, it comes with a few preset designs that you can sort of designate. So if we go ahead and remove this, create this link here, and re-add it so that it'll learn that link. Bloop! See, there it is. Let me go ahead and grab my landmarks, because even though I'm playing not on my world and I'm not losing any resources, it's still very good to be OCD and not allow yourself to lose any materials. So the way a filler will work is once it's supplied with both stuff and power, it'll start filling according to a template. And right now you draw templates with bricks and glass. Bricks represent earth, and glass represents sky. So for example, this would create a stair-like pattern. This would create a temple-like pattern. This creates like an empty cube. This just fills it up completely. And if we go ahead and take this out... Oops, we don't want things in the filling resources section right now. You use glass like that. Empties the whole area. And I believe if we go glass on the top here and bricks in the bottom... Oh, maybe... Hang on. Okay, no. So yeah, there are a few more templates that you can check out on the Buildcraft wiki, but that's the essence of it. It's pretty intuitive. So if we want to go ahead and create like a pyramid shaped thing here, with all the sand that's being created by our quarry, which is going to be the water trick is working there, we just go ahead and power up our engine here, and there we go. Look, every thrust it's going to create 2 sand in the area here. Now, of course, it's gonna, because it's sand, have a little bit of an issue, given that it's sand, so it's gonna drop and fill the area, but that's not too big of a problem. If we did this really high up, we'd want to use either not sand, or we could use this to fill an area with sand. Also, there's an outdated thing in Technic, but something that if you only have Buildcraft is pretty useful. If you want to process all your sand, you can set up a quarry and then a filler above the quarry and drop sand from above the quarry into the quarry and have it just auto-mine sand forever. You'll notice this is going very nice and quickly. It'll go slower. It can be powered with like a steam engine if you want, but it goes very quickly. I think maximum speed would be achieved with 2 of these. Uh-oh. That's gone green. I'm not sure. It should be cool enough. Yeah, it is. But look at how fast it's going. That's just racing along there. I think this is maximum speed. And this, of course, is not maximum speed, but it could be. I could add just another steam engine to try and speed things up a bit. Let's go ahead and do that. Steam engine. And a little bit of extra coal. Bloop. And if we just plump down our stuff here, that should get it going a little bit faster. Yeah, there. And you're not going to be able to see the design yet, but basically, each different filler pattern, like if we replace this, it's now going to stop doing stuff because it doesn't know what you want it to fill with. And then if you go ahead and if we do like something like this, it'll start actually clearing the whole area out, like so, and plopping the resources where they stand. So you'll notice that you can tell if it's got a valid template or not by this bar here. You'll notice it's green right now. If we go ahead and make this an invalid template, it becomes red. So that's pretty darn cool. Let's go ahead and fill this up with a different pattern, the stair pattern. Of course, we're still not going to see much. Let's go ahead and see if we can't help this out by adding a bit of sand of our own volition. Do. Oops. Do. So there it is. There's everything in Buildcraft. All of the basic Buildcraft things. None of this requires a Technic Pack. You can get this just with Buildcraft. However, I will show you later how this interfaces with other mods in the Technic Pack, and what mods in the Technic Pack use Buildcraft stuff. And let's see, how are we doing on water supply here? It looks like we're running low on it. This is still running, though. Yeah, every engine still seems to be supplied with sufficient water. So that shouldn't be too much of a problem. How are we doing? Ooh, the oil has actually filled up all of our tanks faster than we can pull it out with just one combustion engine, so that's pretty cool. Obviously, that's not super optimal, because now this is not going to be helping us much here. So we could add more tanks up there if we wanted to. Or we could reduce speed here, maybe run this with a steam engine. But yeah, this is not an optimal setup. This is not an elegant setup. You can make your own that's much simpler and more elegant, depending on what your goals are. I just wanted to show you everything available in Buildcraft. And so that's what I have done. Let's go ahead and, yeah, let me just show you. This is Redstone engines working at orange speed, and soon enough it'll start going, ooh, uh-oh. What's going, oh, oops. We still have that switched the wrong way. Derp. Wow, everything was like bouncing back between the two. Now they should all start going this way. So that's, if you see an issue like that, first thing to check would be your iron pipes. And this should have gone all the way down to bedrock by now. Let's go ahead and take a look down there. Yeah, you'll notice it just goes right down into the abyss. Very far, deep down. Very deep and far down. So the problem with mining wells is that every few minutes you basically have to pick it up and move it to the square over to the right or to the left. So I wouldn't recommend using mining wells very much, unless you, say, move them with pistons, which you might be able to do. I'll check that and get back to you. That actually is a pretty cool system, actually, if that would work. You could automatically scoot everything to the right, like, once every minute or something. That would be pretty cool. So, how's this doing? How's our little builder? Little builder that could. Oh, right, since we only defined an area now, this is useless. So in order to actually get it to create something in a 3D pattern, you'd want to define a volume by like we did over here, with another landmark up high. So that's at the top tip of the day. Make sure you do that. Thanks everybody for watching. If you like this, check out my Let's Play. I build machines that use a bunch of mods. And subscribe for future content. I plan on making one of these videos or more for each of the mods in the Technic Pack, and maybe a few that aren't. I'm not sure. We'll have to find out. But if you want to know what that obelisk is over there and how it works, or what these trees are and how they work, or what that volcano is and how it's a volcano, subscribe and I will show you in coming episodes of this series and in my Let's Play. Thanks everybody for watching. This has been Dratnos. Goodbye.